Hey, welcome to the latest edition of Taste Test with Tim, where we taste and talk about some of the great beverages here at KDP. More importantly, we also meet and talk with the people behind these beverage brands. And today, you're in for a real treat. We've got a really special episode where I'm honored to be joined by the founder, chairman, and CEO of Chobani and La Colombe, Mr. Hamdi Ulukaya. Hamdi, great to see you.
Good to see you, Tim. Thanks for having me. It's my honor to be here with you and doing this. It's exciting.
It is exciting. You know, we're actually coming to you at this episode from the KDP National Sales Meeting. And one of our big priorities is our partnership with Hamdi and La Colombe. And so we want to talk to you about it today. You know, Hamdi, I met you last year for the first time when we started this partnership.
Yep.
But I've actually known of you for a long time because I grew up in the food and beverage industry for the last 30 years, and your story of what you did with Chobani is truly legendary.
Thank
I
you.
mean, the way you disrupted that market and created what, a $3 billion business today,
Yep.
it's so impressive. And so it's really an honor
It's my honor. Thank you.
sit with you today and to partner with you between La Colombe and KDP. So last year, you actually purchased La Colombe. What drew you to La Colombe?
I lived in upstate New York, Tim, for the longest time, where the factory was when I started Chobani. And every once in a while, I would come to New York City. And in New York City, in Tribeca, by accident, I stopped by to this nice-looking cafe. Happens to be La Colombe. And I had a cup of coffee, and that's my story started from that cup of coffee to where I am today. From that first cup of coffee to now, and before, I was tea person. You know, when you're from Turkey,
Sure.
if you go, if you ever go to Turkey, you know, there's Turkish coffee, this thick thing that you only
Yes.
drink ceremonially because you have to be very brave. But I learned more and more why some coffees, you know, hard on stomach, some coffees are quality, some coffees are not.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get involved with La Colombe to understand this. And the last 30 years, what La Colombe has done is just get better and better and better of craftsmanship of how to make coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I bring to the table, I said, well, you created this amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why it should be only available to few? What if we can take this knowledge, this experience, this accumulated craftsmanship that we have, how can we make it available to all?
Sure.
So then I got to work from the sourcing coffee to roasting to 8 hours cold brewing
Yes.
to plant in Michigan to fill and pasteurize and ship, all done by us. So we're about to taste this. This is, I'm really proud of this.
Oh,
You know, authentically brewed cold coffee, Michigan fresh milk, and the craftsmanship of La Colombe people get it together to create this.
yeah, you hear it right away. And then you see it, right?
Yeah, you're gonna see it. This is a true frothed experience.
Yeah.
And what it does is enhance the flavors. The tiny micro bubbles are coming out. And this is hard to do. It's really hard to do.
It's revolutionary, I
Really
think, in
is.
RTD coffee.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's try it.
Right.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
It is so good. What I love about it is versus some of those other guys that are out there and ready to drink coffee,
Yeah.
it's really coffee forward. You can taste that coffee shop quality craftsmanship. The dairy note's amazing, the frothiness. The other thing, Hamdi, and I remember I mentioned this to you first time I met you, is relative to some of those other guys, you also deliver this incredible superior beverage at a fraction of the sugar
Yeah.
and like half the calories. And you know, when you're me, I mean, you got to watch those, right? And I love that. I mean, this taste with that low sugar and calorie load, how do you do it?
Well, that's the motto we have. If every single food that we put out there in the world, it has to be delicious, it has to be nutritious, it has to be natural, can't use any bad stuff, and it has to be accessible. And this takes us 2-3 times more time to be able to make it.
I'm sure.
Fortunate to make it.
Yeah.
But you have to really care. Like you have to
Yes.
really care. This is, I'm going to make the best
Yeah.
coffee, drink is out there. If your product is so good, you will go somewhere magical.
Yep.
And I think that's just the moment he says, can I make a magic in that moment?
You've done it, Hamdi. You've definitely made that magical moment, no doubt about it. You also have seasonals,
Seasonals,
here, right?
yeah,
There's
yeah.
always a
We have-
role for seasonals. Consumers like to try new things.
This is seasonal. We have s'mores. We have strawberry cream, and then we have mint chocolate flavors are coming. And of course, you know, nothing happens without pumpkin spice. That's
Pumpkin
coming
spice
out.
in the fall.
And these are colorful packaging, beautifully designed. Every single one of them is really delicious. But I picked this to celebrate America. This is
Awesome.
the s'mores.
I'm a big fan of s'mores. I do the campfire thing. Love that in the summer. Let's try this
Let's
s'more.
try this s'more.
I mean, once again, look
Same,
at this
yeah.
texture. Look at that froth. I mean, you eat with your eyes first, right? Yeah. And so you see it, and you see how differentiated it is from other stuff. Cheers,
Cheers.
Hamdi. Oh yeah, you get that note right away. You know, I can even taste graham cracker, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. It's got a couple of layers. On the bottom, you have this beautiful roasting coffee. And that was the idea. Can I finish it with that background, taste?
Delicious. What a treat. So we've done the ready-to-drink coffee, but also part of our partnership is the wonder and beauty of La Colombe in a traditional hot cup of coffee in our Keurig K-Cup. So honestly, one of my favorite and frequent, and I had it this morning, cups of coffee is your La Colombe Corsica dark roast. Talk to us about this.
Corsica for La Colombe is the first coffee that they crafted. This is the majority of our coffee roasted with this blend. This is the magic.
All right, let's taste this hot Corsica coffee. Boy, you can tell it right on the nose.
Yeah.
What a nice blend.
Yeah. You know, we were talking earlier, a little bit of chocolate,
Yes.
a little bit of this, spices, and it's purposely done. You know, it is beautifully crafted. You couldn't source the best coffee. You can roast them, but there are nuances. You know, there are some small details. And if you get them right, roasting
Absolutely.
becomes everything.
I mean, it's a craft,
It's a
right?
craft,
It's artisan.
Yeah.
And the quality and care and craftsmanship
Yeah.
that you're putting into this business
So
is
true.
so apparent. I can imagine, as you thought about a potential partner, the world was your oyster. I mean, you could have partnered with anyone. As you thought about and assessed KDP, I mean, what was it that made you feel like this could be the win-win you needed?
And you're so right, Tim. I was so worried that this business that we built, the brand that we built at Chobani with our fingers, give everything to it.
Yeah.
And you become very careful who you partner with, because would they understand this?
It's your baby.
Yeah, it's your baby, like you understand. And I said no many, many times in many, many languages. Until KDP, and a phone call arrived. And of course, some of the people at my company and KDP knew each other, and that made it easier. I come this floor. KDP is a big company.
Yes.
Has thousands of people, reaches every corner of this country. It's a massive power, but yet you're the CEO. And I have met all the C-suite executives, most amazing, humble, good people that you can ever find in any trade. And that's a power. Knowing what you can do, but yet not letting that to overpower you.
That's right.
Is a human power. And that's what we try to do at Chobani. Because business is powerful, product that we're passionate about, people that we want to serve, but yet it's not all about that. We want to change the world with it. And that's the power of business. It never happens without people behind it.
You talk about change the world. I do think you're going to change the world one cup at a time, one can at a time. Thank you so much, Hamdi. Thanks for the partnership. Thanks for joining me. Folks, this was the latest Taste Test with Tim. I hope you enjoyed it with our very special guest, Hamdi Ulukaya. And stay tuned for the next episode coming real soon. Hamdi, thanks again.
Thank you, sir. Cheers.
Cheers.